It's Nolan. Overworked and underpaid, that's the product of my days. Every beat is getting slayed, fuck whoever that debate. Niggas don't know my life on the side overseas, like twice roll rhymes for these fake MCs. Got them popping in the streets, but they never gon' share my life. Nigga, I got bills to pay, y'all can't feel the weight. It's not a real debate, I've been grinding, bitch, I knew to get signed, but I've been giving them everything. Shit is dope with the kid, me never respected the prices. Nah, homie, don't come round here with the fuck shit. I'm supposed to cap on a nigga like mustard. All these so-called pros can't trust it. Try to look them up, but these niggas ain't done shit. Dedicate 10 years, figure make a dollar, that's me. I was killing shit way before IG. No TikTok, I was open 03. Now everybody wanna come get a piece. Drummer cannon knew that I was plotting, planning, got the flavor. Tropicana by the beach, we got cabanas, monkey business. Best believe we got bananas way. Pin game, coin great, call like Pave, flow like Andre, step like Unsafe. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well out there. In this particular episode, we're going to be getting into Charlamagne the God from the Breakfast Club. Number one, giving Drake Donkey of the Day for trying to take legal action against UMG and using Kendrick Lamar, not only his name, but also his song, Not Like Us, and the incoming stats, and of course, all of the records that he's broken with this song, which just so happens to be a Drake diss, as legal leverage for him to try to put some sort of search and legal action against the label to look and check the books and try to see how they may have assisted Kendrick Lamar in the takedown of Drake. That's how he's taken it. That's how he's interpreted it. And that's how he's positioning it from a legal standpoint, which is the ultimate white boy move. I hate to say it. I was not one of the people trying to give him the white boy category and title. But I must say, you're definitely acting way out of code. You off base on this one, homie. Now, of course, everyone in the culture has spoken on this, shared their opinions. Every content creator has spoken on it. Now we've got the Breakfast Club finally catching up because they were probably on vacation when all of this stuff was taking place. So now Charlamagne the God is putting his 2 cents in, and he's got some good points too. He says that, if anybody wanted to file a defamation claim, it would be Whitney. Kendrick's fiance, common law wife, whatever you want to call her, from the things that he said about her. All right. Now, before we get to Charlamagne, I want to give a big shout out to Miss Tania Coates. All right. She's got a YouTube channel of her own. She's an entertainment attorney. She's a music business professional and professor out there in New York. I believe she teaches classes at the Rock Nation School of Music, which I actually have content talking about a couple years ago. And she had some interesting perspectives about this Drake legal motion, pretrial motion. And she gets into the civil RICO of it all, which I still don't necessarily understand what a civil RICO is. I'm used to seeing RICOs come out in terms of criminal enterprises and, sanctioning perhaps unalivings of people, drugs, money laundering, things of that nature. I'm not so familiar with the civil code as it pertains to RICO in civil matters. So she breaks down some of that and she gets to some of the nitty gritty of what Drake could be trying to determine in his filings, which she's very much well-versed on this subject more than I am. I've tried my best to interpret everything. I think I'm pretty close, not too far off base, but big shout out to Tania Coates. We've met virtually one time as I was putting together my music conference earlier this year. Shout out to K Sparks who connected us. And she's got good content. I've seen her content before. So let's see what someone, again, who works in the industry, who works with professionals at that level, has to say about this, because I'm not that person. I'm an artist. I'm an educator in the music space, or at least I used to be. I don't really engage in it as much as I used to. But, there's still some things that she would know that I don't. So let's get to her first, and then we're going to get to Charlamagne.
I want to get into the RICO part of all of this. Now, RICO stands for the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. And most people hear about RICO charges when it comes to gangs, and most recently in the music industry, this came up a lot with the Young Thug case. So you're probably wondering, what the F does that have to do with Universal and Not Like Us? Because that's nothing like that. Well, those fell under criminal RICO claims, but Drake is trying to see if there is enough evidence to possibly bring a civil RICO claim. And there are differences between the two. So, with a criminal RICO claim, this is brought on by the government, so the feds or the state. They bring this against people or groups of people, gangs, who are allegedly engaging in organized criminal activity to punish them or to deter this type of organized criminal activity. With a civil RICO claim, these get brought on by people or by companies, and they're aimed at compensating these people who have suffered some type of harm due to an enterprise slash organization's alleged racketeering activities. Racketeering activities for a criminal RICO claim are typically going to be things like murder, robbery, drug trafficking, human trafficking, and extortion. For a civil RICO claim, racketeering activities are going to be things like fraud, bribery, money laundering. For a civil RICO claim, which is what Drake will possibly file a lawsuit about, you have to prove certain elements to make your case. And the elements that Drake would have to prove are one, that Universal, Spotify, and others like radio stations, bot operators, and influencers, that they all worked together as an organized enterprise. Two, that as an enterprise, they engaged in at least two racketeering activities, which Drake would claim wire fraud, mail fraud, and bribery, and possibly conspiracy as the racketeering activities. At least that's what I'm getting from the court document that he filed. Three, that Drake or Drake's LLC has suffered some type of harm or injury, which the court document says that there's been financial harm due to a loss of opportunities and diverting market share, streams, and attention from Drake's catalog to Not Like Us. And four, that the financial harm was directly caused by Universal, Spotify, and the others' racketeering activities together.
I'm gonna let her pick back up, but I think it's very interesting that we're gonna have to see how Drake can prove that all of these companies worked together as a unit, as one complete enterprise with one goal in mind, to propel Kendrick Lamar to the number one spot in music, to dethrone Drake. And I guess Drake thinks he was in the number one spot. I don't know what year Drake is living in. He's no longer the number one artist. Now, if you want to say number one rap artist in terms of metrics, you know, he is the highest streamed rap artist, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at the artists that have been coming out in the last couple of years, the Taylor Swifts of the world, if you even look at the SZAs of the world, like, it's not hitting for Drake the way that it used to. So to think that he's the best thing since sliced bread still on that menu, he's still living in a yesteryear time rather than the current. But more specifically, proving that Spotify, whatever Spotify's dealings with UMG are, as it pertains to Not Like Us and the promotion of that song, that they were commissioned under the precedent that we are doing this specifically to propel Kendrick to to a higher level and to devalue Drake. I think there's going to be a hard uphill battle to prove that they did that. Like, how can you prove intent? Especially when we're talking about from a corporation perspective, not from a personal perspective where you intend to throw a ball at a window and that motherfucker hit you in the head. That's a different type of intent. So how can you prove that? And how can you prove that iHeart radio stations are playing this song, again, with the intent to propel Kendrick Lamar while simultaneously devaluing Drake? I don't see how you can really prove that, but I'll leave that up to the powers that be, the judge and whoever is ruling on this, to give Drake this information for him to formulate his potential suit. All right, I'm gonna let her continue.
So, this is why Drake has requested the court to order Universal and Spotify to turn over any texts, emails, Zelle payments, WhatsApp messages, social media DMs that talked about promo and payments for Not Like Us, so that Drake can see if there is enough evidence to prove that these that this amounts to a possible civil RICO claim. Now, again, a RICO lawsuit is just one of the claims that Drake might possibly file. There are two other potential claims that were mentioned in the New York filing, but I want to touch on the defamation part from the Texas filing first. To prove defamation, you have to show that someone made a false statement and that they acted like the statement was a fact, not a joke or their opinion, that they published the statement to a third party, and that this harmed your reputation. And if you are a public figure, when Drake is a public figure, then there is an added element from a regular defamation claim where you have to also show that the person published the statement with malice. And malice means that they knew that these statements were false, or they recklessly disregarded that they were false, and they still decided to heavily push and promote the song anyway, which that's not too hard for Drake to prove, which is why his attorney said that they already have enough evidence that they need for that claim. Now, back to the New York Deceptive Business Practice Act and the New York False Advertising Act. I don't think I need to go too deep into these because they're both similar. So if Drake were to file a lawsuit making these claims, then the Deceptive Business Practice Act, that's so hard to say. That act, the main part would be that he has to prove that Universal and these other companies did things to deceive the public, and for the False Advertising Act, that they intentionally misled or deceived the public through false or misleading statements that they made while advertising and promoting Not Like Us. And with the facts from the filing, this is where Drake said that Universal used bots to inflate the streaming metrics, and this is based on certain bot operators actually admitting that they were hired to inflate the streams.
Just want to jump in here and say, homeboy admitted that that was fake. The guy who had the conversation, DJ Ack, he actually spoke to folks at Spotify. They've even debunked that theory. So you have, it's debunked by Spotify. And the guy who came out and said that he did the bots came out and said he lied. So I don't see how concrete of a accusation that is in Drake's filing either. And that's not coming from a biased perspective. That's what happened. Blame academics for being the one who wanted to be act like an investigative journalist all of a sudden when that's not his bag. And that's what we've uncovered. I think everybody else was pretty fine before he came to the internet with that and killed. He made Drake's case and killed it in a matter of days. Ain't that something?
They also said that there were influencers who were hired to promote the song, but they never disclosed that it was paid promotion, which under the FTC themselves have said that it counts as illegal payola if an influencer is paid to endorse or review a song and acts like it's their honest review without mentioning that they were paid to endorse it or review it. And another point when it comes to false advertising is that Interscope posted on their Twitter account that Not Like Us has become the fastest rap song to reach 300 million streams in just 1 month. Meanwhile, millions of these streams were possibly from bots, and one bot operator even said that he got the song 30 million bot streams within the first week of the song's release, which is crazy. 30 million is crazy.
I also want to jump in here and say, as it pertains to the content creators, I think they're going to be very hard pressed to find actual money being exchanged to content creators for being able to review the song, speak on the song, and actually play the song, because nobody was actually paid, right? Now, Kendrick was informed by one of his affiliates, Smack from Back on Fig, who's also down with TDE. He said, "Hey, we want to review your shit on YouTube, bro. We want to review this battle, but we can't play your shit. You know what I'm saying? We getting copyright claims. Niggas is blocking our shit. You know what I'm saying? Let the homies get their chili and talk about the music." Next thing you know, it's lifted, which of course, perhaps maybe Kendrick had to talk to Universal or somebody over at Interscope, to make sure both sides of the coin were good, because Kendrick was cool with lifting it. But of course, if he's in partnership with a company like Interscope, which is owned by UMG, they would also have to be in on the operation for them to be cool with it, to say, okay, we're going to let them actually do it, because they're the ones that are responsible for us not being able to play this stuff in the first place. Excuse me. So what I don't understand is the very same tactic that was employed for Kendrick's records was employed to Drake's records. So it wasn't about buying biased views. It was just allowing people to have clearance to play the record. There's still people out there, I don't know what people, that was out there that was able to play these records and may have said, I don't fuck with it. I think the first people that come to mind is Lost in Vegas. They utilized their clearance to play those records and said, we ain't fucking with Kendrick like that. Drake got better bars on his shit. Right? They got in they got a world of deep doo-doo over that shit. Like, niggas was like, bro, y'all definitely need to have your OVO hats on. Y'all have shown y'all hand for the final time. Y'all been downplaying Kendrick music for a minute, talking about he dope, but y'all don't like how he rap. This is outrageous. So not everybody was giving positive reviews. As a matter of fact, I hope and pray that Lost in Vegas videos are used in the final filing, you know what I'm saying, or in the evidence and discovery from Universal, so that Drake can see that some people were actually on his side that were listening to the music. Because the notion that Drake is purporting is that everybody was sanctioned to say positive things about Kendrick Lamar, therefore they could cash in. And that's not how that played out whatsoever. But I'm not the legal professional. I'll let her continue. Okay? I just want to interject with some of my knowledge of what was going on, because I don't know how deeply Miss Tania was tuned in to the cultural aspect of it. She's just looking at it from the legal side, and she's in the business, but she may have been busy. She might have had other clients. I know she was finishing up school and all this type of stuff. So she's got a lot going on. All right, we'll get back.
Yeah. So currently, these are all of the possible claims that Drake might bring a lawsuit for. But for now, we have to wait and see if the court is going to approve Drake's requests. And if so, then are these other companies even going to fully comply? Because throughout history, Universal has been ordered to do so multiple times for many different lawsuits from other people and companies, but they just didn't comply, and they took whatever fines and sanctions they gave them for not complying with the court's orders. So it is sometimes more beneficial for them to just disregard the court's orders and pay whatever they got to pay. Yeah. However, though, I do want to make a point that this is very different from the other times in the past where Universal refused to comply and just had to pay fines, because some of the facts of these claims are the first of their kind, and courts have never even ruled on these particular things with these particular facts. And it's also different than those other lawsuits because it involves one of the biggest artists of the past century, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar had one of the biggest songs of the year and in rap history. So a lot of the time when smaller artists bring lawsuits against these huge music business companies, they can just sue them. They can just shoo them away because people don't really care and they don't have the money to fight it. But here, the public is invested, and Drake has the money, and it involves some of the biggest companies in the world. So if the court orders Universal to comply and they don't, then this time they might end up punishing Universal with crazier repercussions than we've ever seen, instead of just simply fining them or sanctioning them.
All right. Big shout out to Tania, excuse me, Ty Law, you know what I'm saying? Now we're going to get into Charlamagne and his roast of Drake. We went the legal route. We wanted to get a little bit of clarity because that's not my field of expertise. Thank you so much. Now let's get to the funny shit. All right, let's get to Charlamagne letting Drake have it, shall we?
Call him a pedophile or a sex offender and not take some sort of legal action. But here's the thing. The person who has the real defamation case in this situation is Kendrick's woman. Because Drake not only said Kendrick was beating on her, he said that Dave Free, Kendrick's business partner and friend, was the real father to one of Kendrick's kids. So if you're going to accuse somebody of defamation, you must first make sure you too aren't guilty of defamation, okay? Drake saying that Kendrick defamed him is indeed the pot calling the kettle beige, but that's not even why I'm giving him Donkey of the Day, okay? I'm giving him Donkey of the Day because Drake is proving without a shadow of a doubt that he simply doesn't understand culture. I used to debate with my man Glasses Malone. Drop on the clues bombs for Glasses Malone. You can listen to his No Ceilings podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network. I used to debate with Glasses when he would say things like, Drake isn't hip hop. He would say Drake is not culture. Glasses would actually say Drake is Madonna. He's pop. He's manufactured. And you know, after this lawsuit, I have to say, I agree. Because Drake doesn't understand how any of this works. Number one, Not Like Us was very popular. Okay, it's still very popular. It was an instant smash. All right, Not Like Us isn't just a hit record. It's a rare cultural phenomenon. Records like that don't come along too often. Records like that can't be programmed. I don't care how much money you spend at radio or on playlists, whatever it is. When something is a cultural phenomenon, you can't buy that. Okay, you can't buy culture, Drake. Not Like Us was a cultural identifier for a whole coast. I wouldn't be surprised if California made the state motto, they Not Like Us one day. Right now, their state motto is Eureka. So they need an upgrade. Okay, and They Not Like Us would absolutely be a better model, but that's what Drake doesn't understand because Drake is absolutely one of the biggest artists in the world. Okay, he has a cult-like following, not just a cult-like following. He has some of the most loyal D-Riders on the planet. In fact, drop on the clues bombs for Drake's D-Riders. There are people amongst us who sit on Drake's penis the way Drake was sitting on the CN Tower on the Views album cover. Okay, but even with Drake's huge fan base, don't think for 1 second whatever the label UMG was doing to promote, Not Like Us, they were doing the same thing for you your whole career. Okay, if one of those diss records you put out would have taken off and been a cultural phenomenon like Not Like Us, the record label would have pushed that too. How would you be clowning Kendrick right now if Kendrick said, UMG, you didn't have to let Drake put that record out accusing me of beating my lady. You didn't have to let Drake put that record out.
Lord knows, Instagram story Poppy would have definitely put one up by now, laughing. He probably would have put the photo of the fucking lawsuit on his story. He probably would post it on his Finsta, Insta, and any other shit that end with a STA. You know what I'm saying? Which that's the part. The hypocrisy is what kills me. It's killing me softly. Like, and the people that want to fuck with Drake and well, from a business standpoint, he doing it like this, and he's taking a financial loss because of the song, and they put money into the song. Yeah, that's what they do for a motherfucking professional rap artist signed to UMG, the motherfucking big empire that owns over 30% of the music industry. That's what they do for one of their top artists. Kendrick might not be number one, but I bet you he's probably in the top 10. And as far as hip hop is concerned, still the most visible genre in music, the most sought after genre, the most compelling genre in music, I would say he's probably top 2. You know what I'm saying? And it's you and him. Y'all going back and forth, duking it out. Then you got Cole somewhere because he get money from Interscope too. But what the fuck, man? Just imagine what it would be if Cole would have stayed in that motherfucker and both of y'all would have took them L's. I fuck with Cole, love Cole. I'm still supporting Cole. But I'm just saying, from a label standpoint, with Kendrick taking niggas out, y'all wanted to engage in a battle. What are the stakes in a battle in hip hop if the loser ain't supposed to fucking take some sort of hit from the audience? What were y'all competing for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? A luxurious lunch? Is that what you thought the stakes were? Because I feel like if you could have sanctioned it with Stake, the company that you've got stake in, or at least they gave you $100 million contract, the betting site where Drake can't seem to stay off. I'm sure if he could have, he would have put money up. He would have sanctioned some sort of way to gamble on their battle. He would have lost tremendously. Don't be mad at Kendrick. Be mad at yourself for engaging in a fight that you should have known for the last 15 years you was never gonna win. That's why you I don't know what you thought. You like, oh man, niggas ain't consume his last album. I could definitely take him out now. But that album's still platinum, my dog. I can see if he sold, you know what I mean, a third of where he used to be. I mean, the nigga still plat. Shit, boy. The luster on your career been looking real different. Even before this shit. Niggas told you For All the Dogs was dog shit. That's why you dropped a whole other collection of like rap records instead of that fucking kitty ass album you put out. Don't be mad at us because we wasn't accepting that shit. You the same nigga that made Back to Back. You had a hit diss record. We ain't getting no hit diss record this time around. You thought drop. Yeah, I'm gonna do it over 3 beats. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna cut the van up. Yeah, let's get him. Okay. You shot your shot, my nigga. Like, you come to the championship, you put your points on the board, and whoever comes out with the most points walks away the victor, nigga. They get the ring, they get the championship, they get the motherfucking NHL Cup, Stanley Cup, not the shit they getting in the stores. And you go about your motherfucking business. It ain't nobody's fault that you were in the midst of a renegotiation or coming up on renegotiation. You decided to jump in a rap battle that negatively impacted your negotiation power. That's your decision. So for anybody out there that wants to play those types of games, those victim games, we're not accepting that shit over here. Okay? You thought, I'm going to beat Kendrick, I'm going to drive my value up, and I'm going to charge Universal $1 billion for me to resign and come back. And your whole plan was thwarted. You wanted to sling mud, and Doug Funny and Roger Klotz got your ass with some of that killer tofu. It is what it is, brother. Better luck next time. There probably won't be a next time because you done learned your motherfucking lesson, didn't you? They got your ass going to Australia and New Zealand trying to get a bag. Yeah. How universal is that? I'm going to let Charlamagne finish up, though.
Saying my child isn't really mine. I'm trying to get you to see why you look like a complete and total sucker, Drake. Okay, not to mention, once again, you are a huge artist, but don't believe your own hype too much because those same tricks you are accusing UMG of doing but not like us, they have done for you your whole career. There was a time when Drake was on the cover of every playlist on the browser page of Spotify. Okay, they did it with Apple too. I think it was called Scorpion Season or something like that. And he took over multiple playlists on the same day. All I'm saying, Aubrey, is stop acting like you haven't been the beneficiary of record label technology. Okay, you being a whole hoe simply because you lost. Simply because Kendrick Lamar kicked your ass lyrically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And anybody acting like this is anything more than Drake's feelings being hurt, you a hoe too. A OV hoe to be exact. Okay? He's fighting the same war that Michael Jackson fought. Drake is taking a stand for the art and the artist. People who are running with that narrative would hold Drake's penis while he pees and shake it for him when he's finished. Okay, Drake has been handling this terribly since Not Like Us dropped. And please, let's keep this in mind. Drake, you're in this position because you tapped out. Okay, you chose to tap out after you heard Not Like Us. Kendrick dropped too much tune for your head top. Okay, he gave you Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us. It was too much for you because you didn't have to tap out after the Hard Part 6. You could have went in the studio and gave us a bop. You the bop guy. You could have got with some ghostwriters, went in the studio and wrote a hit to combat Not Like Us, but you chose not to. You tapped out. Kendrick won. And he told you to squabble up, not lawyer up, but you chose to get the lawyers because you lost.
That nigga fuck with your soul like ether, boy. Damn, I typically don't side with Charlamagne too often. It's a rare time. That's like seeing the dark side of the moon, baby. But shit. Now, what I find interesting is Y'all think Drake gonna use that recording when he do file the lawsuit? Because Breakfast Club is an iHeartRadio subsidiary. It's a part of a project. You know what I'm saying? The company. And for him to talk so reckless on their airwaves and besmirch his name and basically give him that truth serum that he needs, what happens if he says, well, this is just an example of how iHeartRadio entities have treated me. Clearly, they want me off the top. I don't know. It's just a thought. That's something that came to my mind while I was listening to Charlamagne. I'm like, damn, he going in on bro. He definitely giving him what he need, giving him his issue. But what happens if he tries to use that to his legal benefit? What if he says Charlamagne? Well, Charlamagne can clear that pretty easily to say, hey, I haven't been paid by anybody for my opinion on Drake or Kendrick. This is my personal stance, and I've been this way for years. So it's not like it will hold up. But based on the way that homie is trying to breathe with no air, I wouldn't be surprised if he at least tries it. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. If you want to get more music reviews, exclusive music reviews, album listening sessions, music video reactions, be sure to join us on Patreon. If you join the highest tier, you can actually send suggestions. The suggestions are not guaranteed, but they will be taken into consideration so that, you could get a little bit more entertainment kind of on an on-demand basis. But of course, it's going to be up to my discretion what I do talk about. But come fuck with us over there, man, to do some of the stuff we can't do over here for copyright purposes. Once again, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.